listening to The Bob Dean Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, hello, friends, neighbors, fans. Thank you for tuning into The Bob Dean Show. Yay. We are on air. Whoop, whoop. Sam, thank you so much. Sam covered me for the last 2 weeks. I was touring with the Cats Road Show, so Sam reran episodes. You can see how professionally I'm set up here for my palatial Santa Monica condo. You noticed I finally invested the $8 in a green screen, as Sam had been telling me to do, so now I can move my hands around and things like that. Let's see what's going on. Beautiful weather here in Los Angeles. Kathy St. George, thank you all for being so patient with knocking the bugs out of the system. I keep trying to fix my hair and there's nothing there. But our call-in feature is up. Thank you, Sam, for working so hard on that. The number here in Los Angeles is 323-203-0815. 323-203-0815. But wait, there's more. Kathy St. George has joined us again today. Kathy, my dear friend, our dear friend, Dennis is over here in the background. Hi, Kath. And thank you. Kathy, I know you've got about 250 billion more fans than I do, and well-deserved. So thank you to all you guys and gals who've been trying to call in to talk to you, Kathy, and myself, and us, plural. Just some technical difficulties that seem to be ironed out. So 323-203-0815. We're going to take some calls in a minute. But right now, just back to Kathy St. George in fabulous Palm Beach, Florida. How's it going? There's Maybelline.
It's going pretty good.
Kathy, you can get out of the picture now because Maybelline's here. She's perfect. Hi, Maybelline.
He's the camera hog.
She's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen,
as soon as she realized the camera was on, she jumped right in.
Uh-huh.
So,
she looks great, too. Did she just get a Brazilian?
She does nudies.
Did she just get a Brazilian blowout?
She sure did.
She looks like, well, so do you.
She just had her hair done. Yes.
Okay,
she goes,
so
and my behind looks good too, because she got it cut.
I'm telling you something. You need to bring that freaking beehive back. I've been telling a couple other people I know. You guys would be freaking hot as shit with that. I mean, get the whole swirl with the Aquanet and all that.
Well, maybe I can find some fake wigs for dogs and for me to wear. And
because some punk rockers,
we'll do a beehive day.
Some pseudo punk rockers.
Because my luck, I'll get a real beehive accidentally.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious to make a beehive for hair.
You know, I used to be a beekeeper in Connecticut. I actually had the outfit.
You were
the beekeeping outfit. I went.
No, wait, are we talking about a seductive movie? The Beekeeper? No, I'm kidding.
You were an actual beekeeper. And I'd have to smoke them to get them stoned so that I could take the honey out.
Did you,
I got a lot of moves you don't know about.
Well, you are just a jack of all trades. I had no idea that you had been a beekeeper.
It's because my sister taught me.
That's the one that I met?
And the bees, we were worried about honey. We didn't want, so we were into, everybody should raise bees if they have a yard. Because it's something that's very important for our life.
For balance, of course. But what about these? Was that at the point when the aggressive bees? Remember how in the late 70s and 80s, everybody was like, "Oh my God, killer bees," are coming for Brazil.
Well, no, actually, I would check to see if the bee spoke Portuguese first.
Right.
And if it did not speak Portuguese, I knew it wasn't Brazilian.
Well,
but the bees, do you know that bees have jobs?
Yes.
Each bee has a job. And if you get a queen bee that's a bitch, it makes for an unhappy hive and they will usually assassinate her.
No kidding.
And there's also undertaker bees. Their job is to push all the dead bees out of the holes. So you'll see piles of dead bees and you'll know that one bee went around and did all that.
Well, you've seen the setup of my bedroom, and no, ladies and gentlemen, for no other reason than partying. But
we weren't doing anything bad.
And there's a big picture window, and then To the left, Art and Elaine's apartment next door, same window. Right in the middle, there's one of those security lights. And about 10 or 12 years ago, I came home, and the guy in the condo over across the alley, he goes, "Hey, do you live up there on the left side?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, a whole hive of bees moved in today." And I didn't really know the whole desert. He goes, "I took pictures," so he sent it to me.
What's the rent for bees?
Oh, in this town, charge for bees. But listen, the whole exterior wall was covered. They came at once, and they built the hive in the wall. Okay. So
that's scary.
I could stand in my bedroom window because the hole where their entrance to their hive was literally a foot from my window. So I could stand there, and it was like being in the hive, watching them all hovering around to come in.
And you can hear them.
I couldn't hear them through the wall. I did put duct tape over the electric thing. But then I talked to the landlord, and I said, "You know what? With all the bees that are dying, if they're not hassling anybody, they're high enough off the ground, let's just leave them alone." And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So I watch this twice a day in the morning when they, go on, leave for the train, and in the afternoon when they come home. And about 2 years into it, I had a call time of like 6 a.m. And I remember I got up at 3 a.m. to urinate, as old guys do, about 14 times. Well, I turned on the bathroom light, and my cat, Ted, at the time, my black cat, he was sitting in the bathroom in the dark. But he was staring at the toilet. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" Right? So I took a leak, flushed the toilet. As I'm washing my hands, and I wash my hands even when I'm in the middle of that by myself, I thought out of the corner of my eye, I saw some black thing flying around behind the toilet. I went back to bed. I get up 2 hours later, whether it was 3, 4. No, it was an hour later. 4 o'clock, I got up. I turned on the bathroom light, and it was weird. There was a whole, they must have been 100, but they were just flying in a circle in the shower stall, just like this.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "What the, and because so I closed the bathroom door, called the landlord, woke him up. I'm like, "Somebody come over here and take care of this shit." I said, "I can handle anything else, but not bees." Because when I was a kid, I stepped into a beehive and they swarmed on me, and that was horrible.
Well, it really hurts,
Well, yeah, especially when they're flying in your ears and down your pants and everything. But so anyway, my concern.
Smart bees.
And they came that day and smoked them out, whatever they did, out of the wall. And they cut the wall open, and it was huge. It was like, 8 by 9, And I was concerned because these Africanized honeybees, the aggressive ones, I had been reading articles in the states like New Mexico and Arizona. They have been coming into people's homes just like that during the day and but killing their animals, And I was like,
"Oh my God!"
Yeah. So anyway, enough. I just didn't realize you were a beekeeper.
Well, letting him go and grow in the wall like that isn't good anyway, because the honey will eventually be sliming down the walls.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were like in a garage in a corner, then you could, But in the wall, it's probably because you're not getting anything from them being in the wall, because the honey is just going to know you.
Well, we're not getting anything from them, but while they're out screwing the plants, they are.
They are doing that.
Yeah.
Bee fornication is very important.
A, fornication, B, fornication, etc.
Oh, by the way, when you guys were getting ready, I got to see Dennis shirtless.
His boobs are gone. No thanks, buddy. Well, we both been doing no carbs and doing really well at it. We have our cheat days and all. And,
oh, really?
Oh, can I share your good news with Kathy? Can I? Well, I want to turn the camera straight. Okay. My partner Dennis Olson, yay, who has had horrible back issues for years and years and years due to an accident. Not all the details are going into, but for 40 years, and the pain has been intense. Anyway, Kathy, the surgery, a third surgery was out of the question according to 2 doctors, but they burned the nerves in the bottom of his back.
For 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds, and it's
unbelievable pain.
I'm so happy.
He was after the laser surgery for 30 seconds or whatever, he was in excruciating pain, and to see and for several days, but it's really working. So he goes back in to have the other side done. So you need to come out to LA, or we'll come to Palm Beach, because we're going dancing.
No, we're gonna.
In fact, I think I'm going to go learn salsa dancing too.
Oh, it's fucking a blast.
Well, yeah, I figure it's good exercise, you
Oh,
know.
hell yeah. Listen, salsa dancing, ballroom dancing, that stuff is more of a workout than a workout.
Well, you know, Barbara Moore, the Playmate, has been a ballroom dancer for years, and she's, you know, middle-aged now, and she's got the body of a 20-year-old because she works so many muscles ballroom dancing. I mean, because
It's hard
she
work.
does it professionally. She competes.
Well, I want to do chin room dancing because I'm obsessed with this turkey neck.
Oh,
I'm obsessed with it. You know?
I said I want to get a facelift, man, finally, but I'm spending too much money on stupid stuff. So, but it's time, you know. I mean, it's time. You know, when things start getting too close to your knees, it's time. You know, but I was going to tell you, I worked on a documentary about 2 weeks ago, just before my birthday. I had a birthday too.
Well, I wanted to ask about that because I know what you mentioned briefly on the phone, the documentary. I want to talk a lot about that. But I wanted to say hi to Jamie because I know she's probably not listening to the show. She's out, you know, buying Gucci Prada hairdo bags or whatever.
I actually sent her a message last night with the info because she has a new puppy, so I thought maybe she'd be home.
Well, Jamie, if you're watching us, we love you. And Kathy
we
said
love
she
you, Jamie.
While you were in Palm
She
Beach.
came out for my birthday. We had so much fun.
We need to get her on the show sometime. She's a riot. She could be our fashionista coordinator.
Oh, I know.
It's a great idea, isn't it? Remind me about that. We'll have Jamie come on it from time to time and talk about.
She should open her own line.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
By Jamie. Okay, so now tell us about this documentary.
Well, I mean, I was contacted by her son, Andrew, who used to be my boyfriend when I was 27, just before I was in Playboy. I was already on the cover though, but I got to know her very well. Obviously, I was going to be maid of honor in her wedding when she was marrying Tony Roma, but they broke up. I was so upset because I was going to get to go to Sardinia and be maid of honor in a wedding. But anyway,
share her name with us.
Stella Stevens.
Yay!
Yay! And she's an actress. And the funny thing is, I can't get her text up on my iPad so I can say, but it's basically about her life and how she was so ahead of her time, even in the 60s.
She paved the way for so many. And for those of you that don't know Stella Stevens in this day and age, Google her. She was a stunning woman, gorgeous, talented. Her career never really, you know, reached a level that she deserved, in my opinion. But
exactly.
But respected and talented. She was the one that got almost naked in the Poseidon Adventure in her platform. That's right.
And plus, she did do films with Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and all that.
Sure.
This was earlier in her career.
She had those big eyes.
Yes, and she was in Playboy. And she also was one of the first women to do a nude scene, a love scene with a black actor because it was very frowned upon back then. It was with Jim Brown because she was very anti-racism. And she was also very, very supportive of the LGBT community, even before there was one.
As was Elizabeth Montgomery.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm just throwing that name in there. So anyway, continue.
Yeah, no, I love Elizabeth Montgomery too, by the way.
And so is Paul Lynn.
But Stella wrote that anyone who thinks there are only two sexes in the world, well, that's just preposterous, you know, because, and we also, while we did the documentary, because I was interviewed because of what society had done to Andrew, having his mother be in Playboy. He went to Catholic school. The nuns told him his mother was a whore. And it was showing how society can affect so many things. Children, gays, black, you know, society was in such control of people's happiness at that time in the 60s.
Well, it still is to an extent, but so much more back then.
And so we also interviewed a transgender friend of mine here, and it was really nice interview. So it's a documentary that's covering her career, but it's also covering her political views and the things she supported and her humanitarian issues and things like that. So it should be really good.
She's still with us. She's still alive, right?
No, she just passed in February of Alzheimer's.
Now, Andrew Stevens, he was an actor as well, or is,
Yes.
right? He's
Yes.
a really good-looking guy. I didn't realize that he was Stella Stevens' son.
Yeah.
I remember he was big in the 70s and 80s, right?
He was actually very big in the 80s. And so, yes. And I actually dated him in the 80s, but he went on to do a lot of production and directing after that. Silk Stockings. He directed the whole 9 yards. I mean, he produced the whole 9 yards. So he did a lot of other things after he decided he didn't want to be on the camera as often, you know.
Well, yeah, that's what so many talented actors do.
Yeah.
Are you still in touch with him?
Well, yeah, it turns out
that's right.
I wasn't for a long time because our breakup was not a good one. And because he was very anti-Playboy, and I was I'd already shot it before I met him. But that was also part of the documentary. It was how it affected him and then how he turned around and put it on me. You know what I mean? So it covers a lot of things. But we are in touch now. It turns out he lives in Fort Lauderdale, 45 minutes from me. So.
Well, I can't wait to see it. And maybe you can have
it should be really good.
Join
in
us
fact, on TV right now is one of his movies, and I don't know if it's on Peacock or what, but it's the first movie I ever saw him in, and this is kind of creepy, really, because I went to see a movie with my ex-husband and my sister called The One and Only with Henry Winkler, but that was back when you would go to the movie theater and they would have a sneak preview.
Yeah.
And so they had a movie called The Fury with John Cassavetes, Kirk Douglas, Carrie Snodgrass, Andrew Stevens, and Amy Irving. And it was about this kid with telekinesis. And in the movie, his name was Robin. And the institute that they were training him to try to make him into like a weapon or something was called Paragon Institute. Well, my ex-husband was named Robin, and his business was Paragon Music. And my ex-husband, by the way, was very... he was an empath, and he saw dead people. So
you never told me that.
So on top of all, he'd see somebody stand at the foot of the bed, and so he got very sick watching that movie, and we didn't know why, and he didn't want to stay and see the Henry Winkler movie. Well, years later, I'm with my sister Robin and my other sister Tony, and they're over at Andrew's house with me, and Robin says to me, "Do you realize that the movie we saw with your husband, and he got physically ill because he's so sensitive to that you live with the guy now? You live with the guy that he saw that movie and he got ill watching." Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Because it was like almost like he sensed something, you know?
Now, what do you say? He's an empath?
Well, meaning he's very sensitive. His mother is also very sensitive.
Well, now does he see like our dear friend Jennifer Diamond? Hi, Jennifer, who lives in Fort Lauderdale. Have you met her yet personally? I mean, you met her in our studio.
I met her in California with you.
Yeah, you did. You should get in touch with her. She's a friggin' blast.
I'd love to.
She's doing a new podcast down there too, with a friend of hers. It's a sports podcast. But at any rate, yeah, you need to give her a call. But you know, on her level, I mean, you know, where she sees, I guess, into the other side. I'm just curious about Robin's.
He does not do it, and he usually only sees people that he knows, or the people that are involved with him somehow, like that he knows. Like we were in California, and the woman that lives across the street in Florida from him was standing at the foot of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
I have to tell you,
he's not one that reaches out and tries to talk to people.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's a musician. He's a singer. He did an album for Warner Brothers, actually.
Well,
So
I got to tell you this story. Back in Nashville. You know what? I can't even say the word Nashville anymore. You know,
really, because I was thinking about moving there. I don't know.
oh fuck. I am so, it was my hometown. I loved it. I lost my home in that flood, which I just, sometimes I'm just so angry about the circumstance. And the point being is that it's, so I'm just trying to put it behind me. And I never want to go back because Nashville, in so many people's opinion, including mine, has just been ruined. The people that live there are like, stop coming here, just like they did in Austin and Portland and Seattle. And the people that are moving there or go there for these bachelorette parties and the glass penis shaped hot tubs driving up and down Lower Broadway, it's like, and every time I feel like I'm getting a little bit better, Nashville is coming out of everywhere. There's Nashville.
Well, Cindy Bell moved there, didn't she?
She moved there like almost 3 years ago. Anyway, let's not get on about Nashville. I mean, I love that. If my friends in Nashville,
I don't know where to go.
I just want to remember.
Nashville's great.
I just want to remember the wonderful place for me that it was. But anyway, so back to that, my friend Chuck. No last name's mentioned. This guy is like 6'7". He used to play ball. He's this huge ball player, and he was. And he's not a beautician, a hairstylist, and very successful. But you'd never think for a second that this guy was gay. Never for a second, right? And so we're sitting at this bar one night, and we're smoking and drinking late. I'm like, hey, I heard you bought a house over at East Nashville, which is where all the old, turn of the century homes are.
Well, that's what I like.
He goes, he goes, yeah, it's a great place, but it's haunted. And he's like, and I go, are you shitting me? It's haunted. And he goes, no. And it's this old bitch Victorian chick that every time I'm banging some dude, she shows up at the foot of the bed.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I started laughing. And he goes, it's not funny, man. It's killing my game. He goes, I'll be banging somebody. God. And all of a sudden she's standing there like looking like a big old mean prude. And
well, she's obviously
you're making ghost porn, Dennis says. Dennis says she's making ghost porn.
Well, what's weird is I haven't got laid since I got my dog because she's a watcher too. But she likes to get right up there, right up in your face.
Well,
and I'm like, God, I gotta get a babysitter or I'm gonna be very lonely the rest of my life.
Put her in another room. Jeez.
She'll bark.
That was my line years ago in Fort Lauderdale whenever I met a gentleman caller that I wanted to invite back for a coffee at 4 a.m. when we're all right. Hey, you want to come? Is that this is way before serial killers were all over the place. But I would be chatting it up with them, and I'm like, hey, you want to come to my place for a while? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And then as we're walking out, I'd nonchalantly go, you don't have any problem with big dogs, do you? Because I had a Doberman. But I didn't tell them that. But I'd be like, we'd like, yeah, my car's over here. And then I go, oh, by the way, you don't have any problem with big dogs, do you? And if they go, why? I go, because I got a Doberman and, he attacks on command. And they'd either laugh or they'd say sorry. And that was how you weeded out somebody that I was think was going to steal my wallet or slit my throat, Back in the cruising days, it worked like a charm. So Stella Stevens, how did you? It was great. Oh my God, I love Dobermans. So Stella
I had a great birthday.
Wait, stop! I just forgot. For 323-203-0815, you guys can call in. I know, please. If anybody's listening,
I feel bad because so many people called in last time. And I tried to send him texts last night, but it's hard to say. But I know that they called me saying I tried to call last week. 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. So I don't know. I don't know.
So we'll gain that confidence back.
We will.
I've got some drag time in my thing. Can you see that? Sometimes I'm on it, and other times.
Not too bad. Not too bad this time.
Okay, cool.
Because I saw it that one time, but how about me? Woo! Do I have any?
Oh, you look great. 323-203-0815. If anybody wants to call in and speak to us, we'd love to have you.
Please call. I'll tell you anything.
But wait, there's more. Really?
Right.
I said, but wait, there's more, like in the late night TV ads.
That's right.
Yeah. So Stella Stevens, how did you get involved in this? Did they call you?
Andrew called me.
Andrew called you.
Originally, Andrew called me, and he wanted to me to do it, and
Now, what exactly are?
but also he
Tell
wanted
us
to get
again.
a playmate. He wanted to get a playmate the second playmate that had children, that raised children, because he wanted to see how it affected their children. And because like my sister Tony was in Playboy with me, but her children, she didn't tell her children until they were like practically in college.
Tony was in Playboy too.
My sister Tony did 2 layouts with me.
No, oh, that's right. When I met her that time, no, you didn't mention that time I met her when you brought her.
That
in
was
Beverly Hills.
Robin.
Robin, okay.
And Tony and my sister Tina also, who had never met each other because they were from separate fathers, met shooting that we did. I mean, I only shot with each sister, and it was nothing weird or anything, you know, like it was nothing sexual. I mean, it was just us walking through a beautiful field, or me fixing her hair and putting a hat. You know what I mean? It was, you know,
it wasn't like Hustler.
I mean, trust me, there was one playmate who has done pictorials with her sister and her mother, and they're doing a lot more than just putting hats on each other. So I can't go there. Your
Thank
mother
you.
and your sister.
No.
Oh no, there Czech Republic. So you know, it's a broader sort of, you know.
A more
And plus,
relaxed.
you know, it wasn't easy growing up in Russia. You know, it's not easy. I mean, did you know that the supermodels in Russia back in the 60s and 70s were forced to work for the KGB, or their families would be killed?
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. And they only made minimum wage and lived in huts. They didn't even make, they were famous, but they made no money because they were paid by the state to be a supermodel.
Where did you get this? I mean, I absolutely believe
There's
you.
a great show on Netflix called The Red Queen, and it's about one of the first big models in Russia. And it is and it's a series, and it is so good. I mean, I saw it.
I'm writing it down right now.
The Red Queen, or you can Google it and it'll say what it's on. But it is so good because it literally, she'd have to go meet, and and if they were, they got to do a show in Paris. You know, it was very hard for them to go to other countries to do shows. They were very followed by KGB people and everything. I mean, it was really, really scary. You did not want to be a model in Russia. So, so it's very, very informative. So,
well, I will look for that.
Oh no, do. It's really, really good. The Red Queen.
There's so much. We were looking at trying to find a movie to watch last night on Netflix, and we're clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking, and it was COVID overkill. We had seen these movies because that's all we did was watch Netflix and during COVID. And I'm like, oh my God, that was 2 years ago. And so some of them we're rewatching, but The Red Queen is now on the list.
Oh, good. It's
not about a communist drag queen, is it?
Oh, no, she's a model. So, you know, she's a fashion model. But
yeah, I got that part. I was just
give me the number.
You were being an asshole. I'm kidding. But you know, since this also with this strike and everything, and summers are the worst time of the year because there's nothing on television. You know, so you really have to search.
Listen, I hate to. Well, I should be saying this on the Bob Bean Show, but situation comedies, they're not even. And this has been going on forever. But television is just not even worth the watch. Some shows that I really enjoy. Some shows that I really enjoy. You remember Barbie and Billy, Barbie Kligman and Billy Malone. Barbie is a huge television writer, and she writes and she produces and directs.
The pool party.
Yeah, that's right. The secret pool party, the COVID party.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, our friends Billy and Barbie have this magnificent home, and during COVID, my sister-in-law's son, my step-nephew, if you will, his career's going really well, but he came out and we had he is an aspiring writer, and Barbie is a very successful writer, and they had a gathering at their home, but we all sat we had to take turns going in the pool because chlorine water will kill anything. But we all kind of sat around. Remember how we were in like that giant circle and we're drinking and out by the fire pit and everything. But it was
such a good time.
a safe
And it
COVID
was
party.
they're
But I
wonderful
forgot. Yeah.
people.
So anyway, but she does Magnum PI. They are wonderful people. And she's, they've been on before, and I'm going to have them back on the show again. But she's just busy from morning till night, 7 days a week.
Well, I'm
And
really
Billy
glad
Spears going
for
really
her.
well. I mean,
But is she?
I'm gonna call
Now she's a
them.
writer, right? She's a writer.
She's a writer, director, producer.
But is she writing right now? Because there's a strike.
No. As far as I know, no. Yeah, because I spoke to her a couple weeks ago. So I don't know what she's doing. Maybe I'll have to give them a call. They could be traveling, or she could be maybe writing, but not writing for television. Maybe she's working on another series or something.
Well, sometimes they sort of write on their own at home for when they're going to go back.
You know what else is interesting? It's going on. We have Spectrum. It used to be Charter here, and like a fool, I am still paying $100 something a month for internet and cable for that we don't watch. The point being though is that on top of the strike, now I don't know if it's like we're in South Florida, but there are we have Spectrum at work. I think it's DirecTV. Half the channels are blocked off because of the Disney negotiations. Disney apparently owns so many.
Peacock, you have to, and Disney.
And even the ABC affiliate out here hasn't been on for a couple of weeks. And they just had that big thing up where Spectrum's like, we offered them a really good deal, but they didn't want to take it, So
I don't have regular TV anymore. I have no Spectrum, I get free cable in my building, so I only have Roku, and then I have Hulu, Netflix, and I buy channels, that are involved with Hulu. Like Stars, and it's much cheaper. It's $5.99, and then I have Amazon Prime and Peacock, and my sister has HBO Max, so we share. Like I have 3 and she has 3, so we share them.
Yeah, just give her the password.
But Hulu, there's a great show on Hulu called What We Do in the Shadows, written by Taika Waititi, the guy that wrote Jojo Rabbit.
But
movie. Did you ever
I know Jojo Rabbit, but I didn't know it was Tata Tutiti.
Yeah, he's a Maori from New Zealand, and it's about vampires in Staten Island, and it's hysterical. Vampires in Staten Island, but I mean it's racy, I mean they use. Yeah, it's racy.
Words, sex.
Oh yeah, and they talk about beating off and and they were saying one woman was saying, Laszlo seems so depressed this week. She goes, I've only had sex with him 16 times, and the other vampire, Nandor, goes, and I've only had sex with him 3 times. Because they're very, very free-spirited. They're very free-spirited. So it's very funny, though. And a good friend of mine plays a big part in it. So I watch that, and I get a big kick out of it. And you should watch it. 5th season. It's in it, and it's got a 6th season coming already. So.
Well, good for them. What's it called? That tells the name
What
again?
We Do in the Shadows. And I watched it on Hulu. But you can probably Google it and see what network it's on,
Excellent.
But it's really good. So, that's good.
Miss you.
I miss you too so much. I'm going to New York finally I'm driving up because I have to go stay in this condo. And I got to see if I want to
live there. Your private situation with your space in New York?
Yeah, I have to go up there because they're threatening to sell it. And even though they didn't give me the keys till yesterday.
See, I didn't know you got the keys.
Yesterday. That's right. 5 months that I owe back mortgages because I only got the keys yesterday.
And what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is that Kathy's in a personal situation to where she was bequeathed something very special, and other people who have nothing to do with it except know how to hire a litigator and think that they can, have brought something that is intended for Miss George, St.
Yeah.
George.
They've made me,
and rightfully so, and lovingly so. And it's because I've had other friends who have gone through the same.
and you've met Michael. You met Michael. He came to the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to come right out and say it, but yeah, your beloved friend left you his beautiful condo. And then other people just want to step in and go, nah, part of that, this, that, and the other thing. And it's when you talk
everybody. Yeah.
Dennis and I are having our three-way conversation with you. I get so angry. I just want to go up there and slap the hell out of these people.
Well, the worst part is that originally I was going up in May, making a decision. Do I want to live here? If I didn't, then they're selling it. But I only get 25%, which is not a lot of a condo that I've given to live in for the rest of my life. But I'll only get 25% of it sold. But by them not letting me come up, I had to take this condo off the market. So I am basically paying for this condo and nobody's paying for that one. So eventually, if I do get it, I'm going to owe 5-6 months back mortgage and HOAs. So it's scary, kind of, I kind of wanted to.
Can you sue?
Huh?
And I was going to say, because can you sue those guys for screwing you up, or you just want to wash your hands of it?
Attorneys. I'm $30,000 in retainer already.
Oh man.
Yeah, I could have got a facelift or made my boobs different.
Or bought me a convertible.
I know.
Right?
I mean, to
Priorities,
live
Kathy.
so frugally for so long and then get a little money, when you're paying it for attorneys just to get the keys to a house that you were given.
That is technically yours.
Yeah, it's been hard.
Okay, so you got the
keys. I thought about
keys.
walking away from both of them, selling them both, and moving to Portugal.
So you got the keys yesterday, what, via courier or something?
No, they actually sent them to my attorney. So I'm driving up. I have to drive up in like 2 weeks. And because I have to stay there at least 2 or 3 weeks, I have to show the condo board that I want to live there. But the fact is, it's taken me so long to get the keys that I've gotten so in debt here as well, because I'm paying a lot to live here.
A lot.
I mean, so I had to take this off the market and stay and live in it because I couldn't go there and make it, So yeah, it's cost me a lot. So now, and plus I have to do some construction on that one in New York. So
now, are Michael's things, his furnishings and all still there?
Well, they are, except for some of his valuables, his gold watch, his original Hirschfelds, but a Fred Astaire, the trustee that has kept my keys. She took all the valuables and gave them to the people he left them to. Only I didn't get what was left to me. Everyone else got what was left to them. But legally, she wasn't supposed to take anything out till the estate is settled. So I can make her bring everything back.
You should make her bring everything back.
Well, she's got me $12,000 in debt and back rent. So I can make her bring everything back and sell it to cover the costs.
Well, you don't want to do that because that's taking it away from the people that rightfully.
Well, no, that's what I mean. I want them to have it.
Yeah.
But legally, she should pay the back rent then.
Absolutely.
I don't want them to have to give anything back. But I don't think I should pay $12,000 for she never let me in.
But things like, living room furniture, dining room furniture, appliances, they're all.
No, I got my own furniture.
I know you do. I'm just curious about Michael's things. That, like if she came in and got rid of those, or if you're going to open it up and it'll just be sitting there like a time capsule.
No, I'm going to have to pay to get rid of that stuff too.
Well, you can have a big old yard stay.
He slept in a twin bed. I can't live in a twin bed. And he removed all his bathroom and made it more like for an old person, like in a home. So I have to take the whole brand new bathroom and redo it for a grown-up person, a normal person.
Well, Kathy, you might want to reconsider that because, in about 30 years, you're going to need those things.
Well, yeah, I know. But right now I like to take a bath, and that bath is only 4 inches deep.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell you, these boobs don't get in the water and it's only 4 inches deep.
That reminds me from the line from the Golden Girls where Blanche and Sophia were both dating the same Cuban guy. He was like a cigar aficionado.
I
And,
think I remember
and
that
his name was
show.
Fidel, and they were dating on different nights, and but they had to play fair. So Sophia comes home with Fidel, and Blanche comes out in this negligee, and she goes, "Oh, I didn't know you were here." And she's, and Sophia's coming back with all these one-liners, and Blanche is getting more and more aggravated, but keeps smiling. And then she goes, "Well," Blanche goes, "I think I'm just going to go take a nice hot bath with just enough water to cover my perky breasts." And Sophia goes, "You're going to sit in an inch of water?"
I got to do her makeup once, Estelle Getty.
Yeah.
And she was so funny. She was great.
Well,
yeah,
I had the wind knocked out of me the other day because, we are children of the 70s, 80s. And I remember, I'm sure you remember your parents making references to people and you're like, I never heard of them. Well, now we're in that stage. And when this 30-year-old girl that I work with had never even heard of the Golden Girls, I was like, wow.
That Estelle Getty was younger than all of the Golden Girls.
Than all of them,
the
yeah.
other women.
That was such a great show.
Oh, you're froze.
Yeah,
now you're off a little bit. I actually not too long ago when I had my leg broken, when I broke my leg in the hurricane. What are you gonna do? I'm out there in the hurricane. So what? So there's a happy hour somewhere, and I got to be in it. So, but I watched all the episodes all in a row, all over again, and it was so fun.
When I moved back from Miami the first time to go back to school, and I was living with my folks, that was one of my best memories. Because every Saturday night before I was getting ready to go out, because it came on at 9:00 in Nashville, I think, or whatever. But my mom would yell upstairs, "Hey, the Golden Girls is on," and I'd come flying down to my mom and dad, and I would watch that show, and we all three would just, ha ha ha, guffaw at everything,
Well, I haven't decided because the question is, it's not so much that I want to leave Florida. It's the question that I have a apartment that's way too big, a condo. But to sell it now and get a 1-bedroom is the same price as I'm paying for this one.
Can you ever thought? I'm sure you've thought about possibly leasing it out, right?
Well, the thing is, you've got then if I were to move somewhere and they don't pay the rent, I got to come back and go to court and stuff.
You could always lease it to your friend Bob Dean.
You know how much they lease for here? $5,000.
Not to your friend.
I would lease my second room for sure. I mean, my second room, it's got its own bathroom. It's a big bedroom with a view of the lake, a big window with a view of the lake. And it's got a big screen TV in it already, a queen size bed and a chair.
Pretty smart.
I mean, if they wanted to get their own stuff, it's gorgeous. It's got an accent wall that's raw cement with texture in it.
Oh, how cool!
It's really cool.
A big step from your apartment in the Langham.
I miss that apartment.
I know how much you love that apartment because
I love that apartment.
Groovy. That apartment
all
was
those
so
ghosts
freaking
that
cool.
came with it. Those spirits that came with it were just overwhelming. I mean, my bed flooding in the middle. I mean, it was always something going on. These ghosts are just very mischievous.
Well, that building's got to be full of them.
There were 9 entities. I had a medium. I was doing a radio show in Miami, and I was talking about how much I love my apartment. I said, but there are spirits. I said, and the other night, a big puddle of cold water started coming up out of the middle of my bed. And water just doesn't come up out of a mattress, No. And I just threw a towel on it and scooted over and went back to sleep because I knew what it was. It was just a spirit. But the thing is, I didn't say that to her. I was on more of a Playboy related show on the radio show. Well, this woman who does, who's a medium who does a show for the same network there, she heard it and she asked the producer to please do a 3-way call with me. And she's the one that called me and told me that there were 9 entities. She told me how they died, some of them, and I knew how some died because one was murdered next door.
Wait, stop. Hold that thought. Sam, I'm sorry. I'm talking to my guest. I can't see the stuff on here that says I have a caller. So those guys, okay, caller, put it through. I'm sorry, Kathy. I'm paying attention to you, and I'm supposed to be looking at this side where Sam's telling me, and he says callers are long gone. Great.
Oh.
My fault. I'm sorry, gang. They called a long time
Call
ago.
back, you guys. We didn't know.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. This is completely my fault. I'm supposed to look at this and look at this and look at this, and I'm just not that smart. And Sam says there's no time. We got to wrap it up.
Time left for
okay, yeah,
callers.
we're done. I love you. Thank you, Sam.
I'm sorry.
Kathy, no, for those that call, please, this is entirely my fault. All right.
Or just tell us at the beginning of the show how.
No, it's my fault. I'm supposed to be looking at this. It's just a professional thing to do, and I'm more, focused on your dog and your boobs.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Sorry, guys.
I kind of have them up there, you guys. Forgive Bob.
Yeah, and Sam, forgive me. And I know this is a lame ass excuse, but if you notice, I keep looking like this, right? It's because of my new glasses and my bifocals. It's a new prescription. So, and I have astigmatism. So I have to look up like this to really see you clearly. And if I go like this to the left, everything,
I'm the same way. I have mono lenses.
I'm going to have to just get one of those little earpieces so Sam can say, listen, you dumb fuck, just do it right.
Terrible. I know.
I do
calls.
too.
Please, all you guys, all the people that were nice enough to call, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we'll have you back again real soon.
We did not know.
We're out of time.
I'm a blonde, and
I'm just
he
stupid.
wears a Speedo.
Yeah, I love you, Kathy. Love you, Maybelline. Thank you, audience, for watching and listening to the Bob Dean Show today. I'm sorry I screwed it up. Sam, thank you.
You didn't, honey. I love you.
Love you. Talk to you later. And thank you all for listening and watching.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to The Bob Dean Show, only on LA Talk Radio.